Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. I hope you all are doing well. I was thinking to post this video on Friday, but I thought let me give myself some rest and get a good night's sleep to be able to articulate and explain what goes on in my brain when I'm taking these photos. I haven't done something like this before, so I thought this might be a cool video or a cool opportunity to explain my photo taking process, I suppose. I normally don't like to give too much away of why I like a photo or what stands out to me of a photo, but I'm okay with explaining the technical side of the photo taking, I suppose, and what goes into making a photo a little bit better than if you were just to take it at random, I suppose. But the roll I'm shooting with was just an average roll that I picked out. It's a roll of Kodak Gold 200, and I normally make 2 videos out of a roll. So as you can see with this first photo, this was used in the video Leona. This was the first shot of the roll. I was mainly concerned or focused on, of course, the roses, but mostly in person, these yellow flowers really stood out to me and looked really nice. But I think it turned out nice. The roses definitely look nice and are the subject of the photo. This bush kind of stands out too. It's very kind of saturated and a nice green, but nothing too much going on in this photo. I was mostly focused on the flowers. But to go to the second photo now, this was also used in the Leona video. I think this is a very nicely composed photo. There's some really nice colors, mostly from those flowers. They have a nice pinkish red to them. A nice soft sky too. Moving on to the third one. This was also used for that video. And then again, I also think the flowers look super nice in this photo, giving off great colors, contrasting really nicely with those greens. What I was thinking particular in this photo was just to try and get it as nicely composed with this thingy that I saw originally, which seems to be broken, I guess, because it's on its side, which I didn't notice at first when originally taking the photo. But I really like these flowers over here, and I think the whole photo in general is nicely composed. Some really nice flowers, and a nice sky too. Moving on to this one. This was also featured in that video, and it's just a close-up shot of the flowers. Yep, really nice colors, really well composed, I would say, just generally in the middle, so a pretty basic shot. And moving on to this photo, this is of me just walking around and I was basically looking for some depth, basically following these lines right here to make sure the photo pops in a way or is interesting in a way because of that depth that you could use. Maybe some lines over here too. Pretty interesting though. Moving on to the next one. Again in the same location, just a different angle, or again focusing more on depth and leading lines. You can see this, 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 all adding some nice depth to the photo. A nice tree also here, so pretty cool. Maybe it's all leading to this subject of the car while still maintaining that horizon. But yeah, in this seventh photo. Then again, I think I'm really trying to capture depth in these photos. We'll go back to showing these lines. I would say this was definitely the subject for the photo. I was trying to capture that little sign there. Kind of makes me think of dogs. And I feel like this whole area, I could definitely imagine a dog right there. So that's some things that pop out to me. But let's continue. With this one, it seems like I was trying to go for the bush being the main subject and trying to compose the photo, mostly these leaves around it. But yeah, it's simple photo, some nice greens though. So moving on to the next photo. This, I was just walking around and the yellow of this bottle really stood out to me, and then also this eraser board thing. Oops, we'll go back to it. They were just laying there, so I thought they would be interesting, and also some lettering on the board itself. Moving on to the next one. This seems to be just of a gutter. Some nice depth, I would say, leading from the gutter itself. Nothing much else going on though. This is just of a sign. I tried to compose it in a way that it would just be focusing on the drive like your kids aspect, but I still included like the other part of the text to show humor, I guess. Right here we have some nice flowers and some nice colors. Someone's front of their house. I guess you could say we could start off with trying to take as much depth as possible from this photo while still showing off these wonderful flowers. Some nice colors that can pop out, like these greens, these blue sky. But yeah, I would say this is what stands out. These are the things that stand out of this photo. I was mostly focused with capturing as much color as possible. I feel like this is where the photo really was best suited for, to show off all these nice colors that this scene had. Here we are where this sign seemed to be fallen over, so I thought it was interesting how it laid on this bush, but nothing else. With this photo, I was trying to capture that tree that's kind of floating above the house, trying to nicely compose it above this house that's right here. That's also nice. If this little like bush or tree wasn't there, that would be really nice too, because this photo is really minimal. Some nice negative space right here, and that's pretty much it for this photo. Trying to show this porter potty as the subject. It has some nice flowers around it, and there's also this shed. Also trying to add some depth. Also showing this little sandbox and or little miniature pool thing, which I found interesting than the house itself. Pretty nice. Kind of divided into two scenes almost. But let's move on. For this photo, I wasn't actually able to view it through my viewfinder because, as you can see, it's a fenced off area, so I held the camera above my head and was able to take this photo and really was trying to capture these colors of this pool and the water. As you can see, it's a very nice blue, so the Kodak gold really held up and made this blue water really shine, and the colors are nice. Also maybe showing off this shed area. A cool background too, but yes, so this photo, we have this, seems to be an older car parked by itself. Definitely is the main subject of the photo. Parked right in the middle of it with a pretty cool background of these trees. Pretty minimal. Maybe some leading lines towards the car and just showing off some of the depth of the photo. With this scene, I was just walking around and came across this bridge that underneath it is the highway, so I wanted to capture a car driving past and managed to get one. But that's pretty much it. It's just cut off and showing the bridge itself and then this whole highway area. For this photo, I was walking and then found this nursery of plants and flowers and greenhouses, and this is one of the places, vans itself, Um, really interesting logo, and then I like how the van is composed in this photo. Really interesting floor too. I really like how the ground looks and the grass. And then you can see one of the greenhouses in the back. Here we are showing the greenhouse itself, kind of using these doors and windows as subframes for the photo. Subframing all these interesting details that are inside, like these flowers and this wooden palette. But itself has a really nice background, and yep. Here we are showing a little bit of the inside of one of these greenhouses. Again, almost being subframed by one of the doors or openings. And then we show off this tractor in an almost like rule of third kind of way. You then see these flowers in the back. Here we are just showing off the tractor in a pretty direct way. Some nice depth and nice space in this photo using all this floor and some nice leading lines too, to show more depth and to show the space of this greenhouse. Here we have the greenhouse from the outside. So again, you can see a little bit of the inside from this window, but also this other window subframing the flowers inside the greenhouse. But I also really love the outside, especially these grass areas. I think they look so nice, some really nice greens and very nice cool like tones going on in this lower section. And then I would say up here is definitely some warmer tones going on, but definitely a photo where the Kodak gold really shines. Here's another one of using the door as a subframe to the inside of the greenhouses, showing off these nice flowers on the floor. Again, I think the outside of the frame looks really nice. Some nice tones going on and colors, like these cooler tones that are going off in the shadows. Some nice light too. Very interesting. For this photo, we have some really nice flowers with really nice colors. We have some reds and some pinks, some yellows and purples in there. And it's just a basic shot of inside the greenhouse, showing off the flowers that they grow there. Here we have a shot of the greenhouse from it's being subframed from this door, and then we're using the hose as some to show some depth of the photo, and there's some leading lines too, showing I would say this back area. I was using the wooden palette as the subject for the photo, I would say, and any other details inside the photo. But I apologize for the planes going by. I'm outside at the moment. So Moving on, we have a photo of the nursery's sign itself that was in the front of the greenhouse areas. Just trying to make the sign as prominent and as legible as possible, with having an interesting background too of these flowers and also the details of the sky. Next we have this building that seems to have a broken window pane. Some other windows too, basically just showing off the side of this house. Some interesting and basic colors going on, but that's pretty much it. Next we have this power line that I tried to focus and make the subject, I would say, some depth in this way, and using the lines itself kind of is composed around this wall of trees and greenery, basically. Another shot of this power line using the floor a lot to show the depth. Again, composed around all this greenery. I think it's really nice colors. Next, we have this little bear that I tried to get as much and as nicely composed as possible. Some wood and a tree around it, and some other trees too. Kind of looks like he's hiding in the bushes almost. But moving on. Next we have a photo of an ice cream truck from the back. A cool little stop for children sign. Pretty interesting design of the ice cream truck. Next we have an ice cream that I purchased myself from the truck. I'm not too sure why the ice cream itself looks almost overexposed, or because the sun was hitting this whole scene equally. So I'm not too sure why the colors of this ice cream are so washed out, while the background is still rich in color and is a nice blue. I would expect the colors of the ice cream to do the same, but they seem very washed out and overexposed. Maybe that's due to the film stock itself and how Kodak Gold handle certain colors, but the next one we have of just this building that has some interesting color to it. Some nice greens. Try to compose it as nicely and as minimal as possible with this nice blue sky. Some nice whites going on though too. Next we have a photo of just the train going by. Managed to capture it and tried to compose it around this area of greenery, maybe using some depth. And the next photo is of these window panes. seem to be really hidden away almost with all this greenery down here as well, but mostly just focusing on these windows and seem to be an interesting subject. With this photo, I was trying to show off this field that is all right here. I tried to include these fences to show depth, I would say, as much as I could. Pretty basic shot. For the last photo of the roll, I was trying to definitely take advantage of these lines and show this huge space of land and of this beach in the background, and also capture these two trees that seem very nice and lead your eye towards them. And that's pretty much it. That was the roll, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed the photos, or enjoy hearing my process of what goes on in my mind when I'm out and about taking these photos. And that's pretty much it. Take care, guys, and peace.